How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And you know what time it is. It is time for the joke of the day. If you're new to this channel, we do this 5 days out of the week. Maybe you had a long, maybe you had a stressful day, or maybe it was the market conditions. You know what? Market conditions have been great, but you came to watch this video, plus hear one of my corny jokes. Here it comes. Dogs can't operate MRI machines, but cats can. Get it? Cats can. But anyways, what we're going to be talking about today is OCGN, which showed a lot of strength inside of the market. So of course, I want to make sure I keep you guys inside of the loop. But one thing that you want to be aware of, you can see that $6 remains to be that psychological area. We closed just below it. So going into tomorrow, you know what? I won't say anymore. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder, you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the recent short interest information. The reason why the short interest is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what was the buying and as well as the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as for the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for OCGN. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $5.97, being up 10.56%. On the low, it tested $5.40, and then on the high, testing $6.19. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you could see we traded at 17.053 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 16.186 million shares. So just above the average, and part of the reasons why we saw some strength in OCGN stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below, it's right at 38.51. And then when we take a look at the moving averages here on the chart, you can see we are below the 50-day, the 200-day, the 100-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So we're well aware that OCGN is in a bear market, but one thing to understand, we were able to hold down support right at this $5.40 level and ended up seeing a high of $6.19. So this was great, and we have to keep in mind, as far as for the bullish case scenario, we want to see OCGN hold up these levels. And what I'm talking about most specifically, I want to see us make a run to see if we can get past $6.40. $6.20 was a resistance on the day, but I feel that $6.40 is very achievable, because if we can end up having even more momentum, then I'm looking forward to seeing a move, seeing how well we do at this $6.75 level, and then essentially, which would be a psychological area at $7. We know there would be a lot of selling pressure, and this will come, especially if we don't have a catalyst and if it's just natural price action that is happening. But I would love to see this level. As far as for the bearish case scenario, I'd want to see us at least being able to hold up around the 540 area, which we held up for today. But if we pull back even more, then I'd want to see some strength right here at 529, because breaking through 529, no shock, we'd be testing right here around $5. So we're going to take a look at the recent short interest information for OCGN. So for the dark pool short volume ratio, it's at 49.88%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 2.677 million shares. When we take a look at our short shares availability, it is at 650,000, updated 22 minutes ago, and then for the short borrow free rate, it is at 1.56%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we can see for the close of December the 3rd, it was at 54.40, and then for the close of December the 6th, which was yesterday, being at 49.88. 8. So it did go down, so that is good to see. But one thing that is very clear, OCGN does continue to have short squeeze potential. And it's part of the reasons why you want to keep this play on the watch list and keep your ears to the street for any catalysts that come through. So now let's jump into the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for OCGN. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 20.60, and then on the outflow, it was at 20.14. So we ended up having an inflow day. Keep in mind, these numbers are in the millions. When we take a look at the breakdown, you could see on the large, we had 1.19. On the medium, we had 12.78. And then on the small, it was 6.63. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 1.61. Then on the medium, it was 12.87. And then on the small, it was 5.66. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for December the 7th, we had an outflow day of 417.12. And we could see for the past 5 trading days, it has mainly been outflows. When we analyze the numbers even further, taking a look at the small scale orders, which tends to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more selling than we had buying, but it was very close. And then when we take a look at the large, which is what we just covered, we had more selling than we had buying. So retail was definitely purchasing those shares when OCGN was on its low of the day. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, we could see clearly it was at 8.61%. So what this tells me, yes, there's a lot of traders that are going in and out of this play. We did see a run up. We also did see people who were taking profits as well. So be aware of what's happening in front of you and the volatility that is ahead. And this is why I go through these videos to make sure that you guys are able to have a strategy for yourself. So let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for OCGN, where you want to see support actually hold going into tomorrow is around $5.77. Or at the $5.70 range. The main reason being is holding down this area, we can look forward to seeing a test going back into the $6 level, and the key area to watch out for will be at $6.30. Gaining momentum above $6.30 would definitely set us up very well. You also want to pay attention to the market conditions. If the market continues to be strong, then I feel OCGN should be able to follow along with it. We saw a lot of momentum going through a lot of medium cap and small cap stocks today, so continue to keep an eye on those as well. Another thing that I also want to go over, when we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, it definitely does have short squeeze potential. So this is why when you have buying volume coming into this stock, we can see some moves to the upside. You want to make sure you're doing your homework, you're doing your due diligence. Many of you have been sending me messages saying, Dre, thank you for giving us this setup on a daily basis. You could trade this in either direction, but one thing that I want to make sure that you're aware of, that you're timing your entries correctly. This is so important. As far as for the low of the day, we ended up testing $5.40. So upon seeing that confirmation, you could say, well, you know what? Let's see if we can move up to 550s, making that move to 550. And then you could say, you know what? I could take a potential entry here, and then I'm going to have my exit around $6. Again, this is if you're going to be day trading it, because that was the momentum. We ended up seeing a high of $6.19. Of course, you can never time the top all the time. Let's be realistic here. But even if you took an exit at 6 by getting in at 550, that is still 50 cents per share. I know for long-term investors, this is not something that you want to hear, but let's be honest, we could already see from the turnover ratio, shares are fairly liquid, and that tells us that many traders are interested in OCGN, and they have been for quite some time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.